All right, at last, the 0708 rip card set is complete. The final card that I had been looking for almost a decade and finally found, that as soon as I got it in the mail, I sent it into PSA, has now officially been graded. And I got it in hand this week. I'll show you a better picture of it. So this is the Bill Walton, Yao Ming, David Robinson. It's a Pop 1. It graded a 6. Quite frankly, don't really care about the number. This now completes the 40 card Topps Rip Card set. So I was really excited to win it on eBay. And then it's nerve-wracking, man. You got to put it in the mail, to get it graded. And so I got to wait for it to get to PSA, and then I got to wait for them to grade it and then get it back. I was going to do the $75 service level, but it was showing that there was only a week difference between that and the $40 service level through my group subber. So I went with the $40 one just to save a few bucks. And I was in Hawaii over Christmas break, and timing-wise, I didn't want to get it back too fast because I wanted to be home when I came back. And long story short, I came back, it worked out perfect, and that set is now complete. So with that said, I have been kind of struggling with, where do you go from here? And what do you do collecting-wise, And so I went to a trade night recently, and I kind of decided that I'm just not going to buy or trade for anything that's just really super easy to get. I know that kind of sounds obvious, but I've said that in the past, and then something catches my eye, even though, it's quite plentiful, and I end up buying it or I end up trading for it, whatever the case may be. Recently, though, and I've shown you in the last few videos, I've been trying to kind of pare down my collection a little bit. I've actually sold quite a few things. I've been selling off some retail wax from like 21, 22. I've sold a bunch of that. I've sold a bunch of singles. There was a period of time where I was just buying things because I felt like they were a good deal. And then I look back and I look into my collection and I look back and basically I basically just said, well, these aren't cards that I really care too much about. And so if they're not PC cards, I'm just selling them off. And I took some L's. There was a couple cards, I probably lost 80 to 100 bucks. And so, you win some, you lose some. I try to keep track of all that, of course. And I took a few L's. But it's kind of a lesson learned going forward into the future that, I just want to buy the stuff or trade for the stuff that is going to go into PC. With that said, I did land a cool card at trade night, and I'm going to go ahead and grab it here. I've got it in my case right next to me here. So I had never seen this card. I've never seen a copy of this card in my life. This is the first one I'd ever seen, which instantly piqued my interest. Because I've been back into cards now for 17, going on 18 years. And if it's something I've never seen before, that kind of jumps out at me a little bit. And when I went to this trade night, I ran into an older gentleman that I'd never seen before. He had some interesting cards. A lot of them were kind of random. He'd been cracking boxes for a couple decades or more, and, just collecting the cards. I wasn't really looking to sell them or trade them in the past. And he had a Kobe Bryant card that I had never seen before. And it just really piqued my interest because it was hand numbered to 201 on the back. And it is a 2000-2001 Kobe Bryant Avant card is what it's called. I'm going to show you a better picture of this because the camera's not going to do it justice unless I get just the right lighting. So take a look at this. So the front of it is almost like a canvas type texture just inside that frame. And it says illustration by Jerry Thomas. It's just a really, really cool card. Super cool. And then on the back, it is hand numbered to 201. And so I'll show you here, and then I'll show you a better picture also. It's just so cool to see something hand numbered from 2000, 2001. I just thought it was so cool. So I really like the design. I like the fact that it's relatively rare. Now, I haven't taken it out of the One Touch yet. So I'm not really sure as far as condition. I'm quite sure that I'll send it in to get graded. I don't know what it's going to grade, though. I still need to take a look at that. Just for whatever reason, I've been pretty busy. I haven't taken it out of the One Touch yet. Even if I don't think it's going to grade super high, I'll grade it. But this is a classic, like, case in point of this is the kind of stuff that I'm looking for at trade night. I can't go into these trade nights with a list. You know, you don't know what you're going to run into. Now let's talk about price. This was an interesting one. I asked the guy, you know, what do you want for the card? There are no comps. I don't pay for any of the subscription services. I don't know if you've seen anything on my other channel. My other channel is Frugal Alaskan. I don't have a lot of subscriptions. I don't really have any subscriptions. I do the $3 Disney Plus, I guess. I don't really do subscriptions because I try to avoid debt and I try to avoid unnecessary spending. So maybe there was a comp, you know, past a couple months or whatever, but couldn't find any comps. There's a PSA 6 of this card that somebody wants like $420 for on eBay. There's a higher grade one. It's over $1,000. I looked it up. It's a Pop 26, which, man, when you compare it to like modern day print runs and things like that from like the last few years, man, Pop 26, Kobe Bryant, I mean, unreal. So anyways, I had asked the seller a couple times what he wanted, and I didn't want to insult him because I didn't know what his expectation was for this card. You know, I didn't know if he thought that, you know, it's $400 or above. You know, there's a 6, like I said, on, you know, on eBay for like $420-ish. And I told my girlfriend, I was like, look, I would be okay with going as high as $200. Like that's kind of my max. You know, I don't really care to pay much more than that. I'm not entirely sure what the condition is in. I'm not going to take it out of the One Touch and stuff while I'm there. I could have, I guess, but that's kind of my max. So I kind of balked at it a little bit. I kind of told him, well, you know, if you come up with a price, you let me know. So it's getting close to the end of the night, and nobody else had bought it. And he's just like, hey, I want to talk to you about this card. You know, you still interested? And I said, yeah, I'm interested. He's like, would you give me $200 for it? And I said, yep, I think that's fair. No counter. Sometimes, you know, I'm all about negotiating, and I negotiate quite a bit when I go to buy stuff. But I was willing to pay $200. He offered it to me at $200. I thought it was super fair, and I took it. So I gave him the $200. He was happy. I was happy. And I came out of that trade night with a very unique Kobe Bryant card with a very, very low pop. One of the coolest things that I thought, that, in my opinion, about the card, one, the hand numbering. I mean, how awesome is that? Two, you know, this guy cracked those packs 25 years ago, and he hung on to the card. You know, he put it in a plastic and, you know, kept it in a box, and it really hasn't seen the light of day for, you know, the better part of 25 years. You know, and you look at the numbering on the back, and there's no fade on it or anything like that. It's been sitting in a box. So it's just kind of cool that a card like that, that's so cool and such a cool design, it's just been sitting in a closet, you know, for 2.5 decades. So really cool card. That's the kind of stuff I'm looking to pick up. I'm not looking to spend huge money right now on cards. I am looking to continue to sell. I got to look at the next batch, I guess. I'm kind of going back to the retail wax that I have. And when I get to rookie classes that I don't believe in, those are the ones I'm just selling. Even if I got to take a loss. I'm just selling. And moving on from them. I sold some 2021 football, Trevor Lawrence's rookie year. I'm a Jags fan, and I hope that Cohen is able to do something with Trevor Lawrence. I'm not a big believer of that class, and I hope Trevor Lawrence can rebound. I'm starting to have my doubts though, so I'm moving from some of that kind of stuff. I sold also a bunch of 2021-22 basketball. It's Cade Cunningham and Evan Mobley's rookie year. I know that those guys are good. I saw Cunningham's stats. I saw the Pistons at one point, I think, were 500, maybe slightly above or below. But I'm just kind of paring down that kind of stuff. I did make a wax purchase, though, this week as well. And I bought a bunch of this year's Prism football. It's got Jalen Hurts on the box. I bought a bunch of blaster boxes. And so I really do like this year's class. I like Caleb Williams. And the guy that I forgot to mention in the last video when I was talking about that class was Jaden Daniels. How can I forget that? I'm a Lions fan. I'm not going to forget Jaden Daniels anytime soon. You know, but the two of them, and there's other players too. Drake May's got potential, you know, and Marvin Harrison Jr. and J.J. McCarthy. I mean, there's a lot of guys. So I bought several Prism blasters, and I'll hang on to those because again, I really like the class, the rookie class. So we'll kind of see how that goes. So hope everybody's doing well out there. As always, if you haven't already, if you'd consider subscribing to the channel, that would be great. And I'll see you in the next one.